Hello everyone, it's good to have you back. Today we'll be looking at an important issue that a lot of people have asked us to talk about, which is conflict management in marriage. And before we start, for those who don't know us, my name is Gospel.
And my name is Amara. It's lovely to have you all here.
Thank you.
So like my husband said, we just want to talk about conflict in marriage. Now, this is a topic that has a lot of mixed opinion. A lot of people have got mixed views about conflict management. There are different techniques, different tools, and ways of managing conflict. But first of all, I just want to quote a scripture. Amos 3:3 that says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?"
Yeah, marriage involves two people from different backgrounds, from different experiences,
yes,
different personalities.
Yes.
In fact, when two people from the same parents live together, they are bound to have conflict because people cannot have the same ideas, opinions, perspective all the time. So where there is divergence of views, there's definitely going to be that conflict. Some people say they've been married for 10 years, never had issues. But the truth is, it depends on how you define conflict.
Yes.
But the truth is, when two people are together,
yes,
conflict
is bound to
happen.
But conflict, most times we think about conflict and, people think about it as a very ugly thing. Conflict in itself could be good.
Yeah.
Because conflict, if properly managed, could actually help a couple to understand themselves better.
Yeah. Because conflict gives you the opportunity, to be yourself, to see your strengths and your weaknesses, and then know how to focus on your area of strength. And
it also helps, it will definitely help you to improve the quality of your relationship, because that's very important.
Yeah.
However, conflict is inevitable. It's bound to happen. But it's about how you manage conflict, because that's is key.
Yeah.
Conflict management is key.
Yeah. And another thing we need to look at before we even look at how to manage conflict is what exactly is the reason most couples get involved in conflict.
That's a good question.
I think one of the reasons is negative way of communication.
Yeah.
Negative communication.
Yeah.
People don't know how to communicate. So where you don't communicate effectively, you're bound to have misunderstanding. Yeah,
and there's bound to be a breakdown in the relationship. And it's very important that you understand how you communicate. I mean, couples or the people in the relationship, because that's a step. That's 50% of the job done. Understanding how you communicate, understanding the fact that your views will be different. Appreciating, not just understanding, but appreciating the fact that your views are different. You're two different human beings. You're not the same. You don't have the same ideology. You don't have the same past. You don't have the same experiences. You don't have the same background. So your views will definitely differ. It's about appreciating the variety of your views and recognizing that, look, we're different, but how can we have a unifying front, or how can we compromise to some extent in our relationship? So another reason for conflict resulting, especially where it becomes common, is the fact that some people are not flexible. Yeah. Some people are so rigid that they want things to be done in their way, in certain ways, and if things are not done in their way, it becomes a problem for them. They become so aggressive. They try to force their spouse to fit into their own way of thinking, their own mold.
Exactly.
So flexibility is key here.
Very important in conflict management. And again, when such people who are rigid don't have their way, they tend to use a negative form of communication. Yeah, they tend to be argumentative. They tend to take on silent treatment. They tend to have more of a monopolizing the conversation and things like that. Sometimes different people, or they even become confrontational. Sometimes. So it is or even sometimes people would get towards suppressing feelings. Which is also very, very destructive. Suppressing feelings Yeah, like you're saying, suppressing their feelings, you know, where people don't find it easy to express themselves, they'll decide to like bottle up everything.
Yes.
And that could lead to what anger managers call implosive anger.
Yeah.
Where you suppress everything and it gets to a point where if care is not taken, little things begin to trigger the person's emotional outbursts.
Yeah.
And you wonder what's going on here.
So it's not good, it's not healthy for the relationship. It's not healthy long term, it's not healthy for the relationship.
Yes.
It's something that needs to be tackled.
Definitely.
Yes. The question here is not whether successful relationships encounter conflict. Because every relationship is bound to have conflict. Okay, so it is not about whether they encounter conflict, but it's about how it is managed, because conflict is inevitable.
Yes.
So it's about how do you handle conflict in a relationship.
Yeah, the truth is when conflict is not well managed, or
Yes.
when it is not properly resolved, could lead to resentment,
bitterness,
yes,
anger,
could lead to depression sometimes.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, it could
mental
lead to-
health issues.
Exactly, but when conflict is well managed, it could lead to stronger bond between the husband and the wife.
Yes.
You know, because now you've learned how to deal with your issues together.
Yeah.
And have a better understanding of each other.
Yeah, and I always say that, the focus here is about the people in the relationship. The focus should always be on the people in the relationship, not on the issue in the relationship. The issue in the relationship is not as important, it's not so important, it's not more important than how you feel towards each other.
Yeah, it also depends on the issue that
has led to the conflict.
Exactly. Some issues could be major that may require external hand, may require a third party to help the couple resolve such issues.
Conflict.
For instance, if conflict is as a result of infidelity or as a result
That's
of,
major.
Yes, it's a major conflict.
Yeah.
But if conflict is as a result of issues of who used the pest, who did this, who did that, in the house.
Yeah.
Those things are issues that could be resolved.
But you know that minor issues most times become major. Because if not well handled, it kind of forms a build-up in a relationship where there's a breakdown in communication, there's a breakdown in couples' ability to love each other and stick with each other.
Yeah, you have a point, but the truth is where people develop the skills of looking at things from your partner's point of view or your spouse's point of view, where you always have a way of, looking at things from the person's point of view, empathize with him or her. That helps you to be able to manage conflict. You don't make reasons, you don't create reasons, think about, okay, he did this, he did that to me. It builds up. And that affects how your disposition towards him or her.
So now, how can people identify early on the signs of conflict in a relationship? How can they identify this and be able to nip it in the bud before it gains roots and it becomes too difficult to uproot? Because that's very important.
Well, I think primarily when there is a misunderstanding, major misunderstanding or minor misunderstanding, there is need for couples to deal with that immediately. Have a set approach of which they would always, handle issues. Some people would say they will never stay a day without talking about issues. Others will say, okay, we need to cool off first. When we are settled a bit, to be able to talk about it. But the truth is, you can't neglect to talk about unresolved issues. You have to discuss it. You have to find a way to talk about it at the right time, using the right approach. Most times when issues are handled at the heat of a moment,
could be
there is no headway.
That's true.
But when issues are resolved, when everyone is a bit settled to have better reflection on what went on, that helps them to resolve those issues.
Yes, and it's very important. So it is very important for people in a relationship to have some habits how do I call it? Some people call it rituals, some people call it a family, what's the word? There are other words people call it. You know, a routine or well, habits or things that people in a relationship do together. So say for example, I would say that it's a healthy habit for individuals in a relationship to appraise themselves at least at the end of the week. You know, talk about, you know, some things. Of course, you know, you must have had issues or conflicts in the course of the week, but it's also very important that you have a sit-down conversation about those issues and, you know, thinking about way forward. What, you know, what did you like? What was the approach handling the issue? Was it okay by me? Was it okay by you? And, you know, having that sort of honest conversation, because what I've noticed is that people tend to leave conflict and they tend to accumulate and it becomes a big problem. And when they actually sit down to begin to delve into the root cause of the problem, they begin to discover that it wasn't so serious, but because it was allowed to fester, it became serious. There should be a habit of reassessing yourselves weekly. It could be daily, it could be twice a week. You know, every relationship is different, but it's just finding out what's best, what works best for you.
Yeah, again, I think managing conflict starts with your mindset.
Yes.
You need to see your relationship to be more important than whatever happened between the two of you.
Yes.
If you love each other and you're committed to each other, you must find a way to be able to resolve issues when they happen.
Yeah.
And then mindset again, in that the way you look at things. Look at things from a broader perspective.
Yes.
And know that you don't have within you the power to change your spouse. Most times conflict happens because the man or the woman is trying so hard to change the spouse.
That's true.
You want her to behave in a certain way. You want her to think in a certain way. You want her to talk in a certain way. You want her to do things in a certain way. And she's not doing those things. And you're feeling bad about it. You keep talking and, you know, issues keep coming up around those things. So what do? Manage your circle of influence.
Exactly.
You can control how you feel.
Yes.
You can control what you
do.
You can control your actions, but you can't control the act. You can only inspire the other to change, to be different. Yeah. Or you can't force change on your spouse.
I think it's crucial. It's crucial because this has caused a lot of problems. I mean, it has even gotten to a point where people talk to their spouse like children. I mean, I'm not a firm believer of having to talk to people or demeaning people, belittling people. You can actually resolve conflict without belittling the other person. You know, have respect, mutual respect, and, you know, come and talk as mature individuals. In spite of your emotion, you don't allow your emotion to get a better side of you, because all you're trying to do here is to solve a problem. All you're trying to do here is to navigate the challenge together. And it's very important that in the course of solving that conflict, you do not hurt the other person, because a lot of people end up wounded when they're trying to resolve conflict, and that's not the aim of it. It's the aim of it is to solve the problem. It's for you to feel better. It's for both of you to feel better, and it's very important that you come into that sort of conversation with that sort of attitude.
Yeah, when you come into the conversation with the attitude of helping your spouse to feel better, helping your spouse not to be hurt.
Yes.
Knowing that your actions, whether you're right or wrong, maybe the things you've said, the way you've reacted to that issue must have made your spouse to feel pain. So your focus now is not who is right or who is wrong. Your focus is how do we come to a point where
we feel
have
good.
A good feeling about ourselves.
Yes.
Where the anger is dissipated.
Yeah.
Where you don't feel resentment and all that.
That's true.
When you get to that point, you will realize that everyone will be able to see his or her contribution to whatever led to the conflict.
Yes.
And apologies would be able to come in. And I also want to say that as a man or a woman, you should come to the point where you are willing to take responsibility for your actions, for the things you've done wrong, and apologize.
Very important. Apology, I mean, this in itself has caused a lot of problems in marriages. It's very important that you accept, you come to a knowing, oh, I was wrong, oh, I hurt you, I am sorry for that. You know, I'm sorry that I hurt you this way, and owning that, being accountable for that, and being responsible for that. That's really important. That's crucial in every relationship.
And taking responsibility for what you've done in the past is not enough. Saying I'm sorry is not enough. There is need for you to change. So your spouse should expect that if you've done something wrong in the past,
you've apologized, yes,
show a sign that
take steps in the right direction.
That you want to do better.
Yes.
So if you keep doing the wrong thing, the same wrong thing over and over again, your apology becomes minimized and is not seen as serious or as important,
as valid. It's not seen as valid.
Valuable.
Yeah, not valid actually. Yes. So it's very important that your spouse is able to sort of say, you know what, I know my spouse is sorry, I know he means it or she means it, and I know that they are going to take the right steps towards the right direction to make sure that they are changing. Remember, like we always say, the problem is not as important as your relationship. Now with this, it's going to be a wrap for today. It's so exhaustive. I mean, conflict management is not something that we can finish talking about today, but I know that you viewers watching us, you have lots of views about conflict and about how to resolve conflict. And please, I would appreciate you to share your comments below. Just tell us what you think. Tell us, you know, what are the strategies that you have taken on board to resolve conflict in your relationship, because it would be so fantastic to share. And you know, we want to know what you do. What are the strategies that you take on board to resolve conflict in your relationship?
Do you think it is right for a spouse to apologize all the time, whether he is right or wrong? Or do you think the person who is wrong is the one that needs to apologize?
Yeah.
Please put down your comments below,
yeah,
and let us know what you think.
What you think. It will be fantastic to see, to read your comment, because that's would really be appreciated. And now that's a wrap for today. Please, viewers, we are so happy that you stuck with us through to the end. We really do appreciate this. Thank you for all the love, and we see all you do. Thank you so much. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button below, and please turn on your notifications so you always know when we've got a new video. Thank you so much. See ya. Bye.